Our brothers and sisters in Canada is literally dealing with the same issues and problems that we're dealing with here, like with the race soldiers, with discrimination. I mean, nothing is really changed over there as well. Like, yes, Canada may be a different nation, but it's all white supremacy. They all practice anti-black racism. Let's go ahead and roll this clip.
Right? The way that they view us hasn't changed.
For Ish Adoranmu, it is disappointing but not surprising to read the black community feels just as much distrust today towards the criminal justice system as it did 25 years ago, because for them, nothing has changed.
Now we talk about being anti-racist, but we weren't talking about that before. And so how much changes when people aren't forced to?
The community's feelings are captured in a recently released report based on a survey of public perceptions of and encounters with the criminal justice system. The respondents are all from Ontario and self-identify from three racial groups: Black, Asian, and white. Black and Asian respondents held a more negative view of police and perceived a higher level of police bias than white respondents. Most of the white and Asian respondents agreed that anti-black racism in policing is particularly widespread, and black people receive unfair treatment in the criminal justice system. 48.9% of white respondents and 56% of Asian respondents believe a black person is more likely to receive a longer jail sentence.
There's a bigger and bigger realization and a bigger and bigger evidence that our experiences, when we speak about them, are true, and that other people are starting to see it and acknowledge it as well.
Raphael Tashi is the president of the Canadian Association of Black Lawyers. His group commissioned the report, working with researchers from the University of Toronto who did similar reports in 1994 and 2007.
One thing brothers and sisters have to understand in a diaspora is that if you are living in the West, you're going to deal with anti-black racism. That is the culture of Western society, they like to call it, right? That's the whole culture of it. It was built on the back of slavery and colonialism. That's what it was built on. It was built on anti-black racism, and they don't know how to operate without it. You understand? I mean, it's like taking a ingredient out of a particular food that you may like, right? The whole thing is operated that way. It's like removing salt from a dish. It'd be bland to them without anti-black racism. Anti-black racism is what they have to hold on to, because if you understand their history, the only thing they've ever had to really get them together on one accord is white supremacy and anti-black racism. Because prior to that, they was always fighting each other, always fighting. Think about it. When they finally came together, it's like at the Berlin conference with the continent of Africa. They were about to fight each other about that. See, they always would get together about trying to do something to us and maintain a system to harm us. Like I said, that system wasn't built to harm Asian people or Arab people or Native American people or Hispanic people. It wasn't built to harm them. Not to say they can't be harmed, but I'm saying it wasn't built that way. It was built on the backs of African slaves. It was built on colonialism, which is their version of kind of like slavery in a lot of ways, because they wasn't allowed to do anything either. You just really study colonialism and how they was in service to the white supremacists out of Britain, Portugal, anything more so European. It was still white supremacy. So nothing has changed. This is why I'm a firm believer of us as a people worldwide, because we have the same story no matter where we go. This is why I say I really connect with my Canadian brother and sister that's over there. We understand each other. I want to connect with my Caribbean brother and sister. Yes, they may not have the issues we have, but they have the effects of white supremacy in the Caribbean, because the Caribbean was where slaves was taken and broken. So the remnants of slavery is still there. We need to connect there. The remnants of colonialism is still on the continent. You can clearly see it when you go. So this is why I believe in connecting. Yes, we are all different culture. We have different languages. We have different traditions, and that's awesome. We speak thousands of languages. That's awesome. Like I said, no matter what that ignorant Jim Crow Joe says, We are the most diverse people on the planet based on the amount of languages we speak, different cultures, how we constantly innovating something. So my thing is this, my, fight and my mindset is, yes, I definitely love my brothers and sisters here. This is where, I was born. Yes, we built this country, but at the same time, I believe in being global with black people. And when I talk to black people from many places, we all have the same stories, literally. So we can relate to the people based upon that. I'm not a person that's going to cut myself off, from black people. And I'm going to be more forgiving to black people more than anybody else. I always said that. I'm not going to be like these folks, these race soldiers kill your kid and you in court talking about, I forgive you. Forget that. I'm going to forgive my own before I forgive them. I ain't never forgiven them for nothing. For what? Like I said, they haven't shown me nothing that they want to be forgiven for. Like I said, you want to show forgiveness, change all the evil white supremacy, end it and pay reparations. Then I start believing that you have changed. Relinquish power and make it equal. Then I'll believe you changed, and maybe we can halfway talk about some forgiveness. But until then, there's no reason to forgive because you ain't done nothing to be forgiven for. No matter what Sheila Jackson Lee says, well, maybe we should have a national apology. What a national apology gonna do? That's not nothing tangible. I can't even wipe my butt with an apology. You can keep that. You might well just not say nothing at all. But to my brothers and sisters in Canada, like I said, we definitely feel you. We understand that you're dealing with the what they'll call the left wing of white supremacy more so in your country, which I say that the left wing is actually more sinister. The right wing is actually, black folks are more afraid of the right wing because it's too much in your face. But the in your face white supremacy is better because number one, it gets you all on code. Number two, you can't deny it. Number three, you're gonna have to face it head on. The other white supremacy, it lulls you to sleep. Why it's being sinister and worming its way and actually getting you to participate in it. That's the bad part about that other side. But it's all coming to a head. It's all coming to a head. And black folks are waking up every day throughout the world. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about, what's happening with our brothers and sisters in Canada. Nothing has changed. And they're dealing with the same system, the same issues, just a different flag and different leaders. But white supremacy is the same no matter where you go.